Welcome to the Middle Room Workshop. Today we are going to set up and test the new machine from Ortur, the Aufero Laser 2. Without further ado, let's get into it. Before getting into the machine, I want to clarify some confusion about the brand. Aufero is a sub-brand of Ortur. They are targeting new users and they are trying to offer budget, high-quality machine. And as far as I can see, they are also redesigning their original concepts from Ortur. So they are offering this new-looking machine. Last year they launched the Aufero Laser 1, and this year, a week ago, they launched their newest Aufero Laser 2, which is basically the bigger brother, offering a larger engraving area. Now, the new machine is not meant to be intended as the version 2 of the first one. In fact, this is a completely different machine and is packed with a lot of tech inherited from Ortur itself, as well as all of the latest updates on motherboard, firmware, and laser incorporation technology. The machine offers an engraving area of 390 x 390 millimeters, which is, I think, fairly good for most projects and users, especially for beginner users. The machine is also packed with a bunch of safety features, two of which I believe there should be a must for all the other machines. The first one is the auto shutdown, which they call something like exposure limitation. So basically, the machine will shut down if it haven't been used or touched for some time. And this is good because if you have had experience with other machines, you know that locking this system might end up catching on fire the whatever surface was below the laser, or you will end up finding a spot there. And the other one is what they call the active position control, which is basically a shock sensing feature that stops the engraving in the eventuality of a shock. This is particularly handy, for example, if the axis happen to slam against the frame. So this will prevent the stepper motor from overdriving and prevent therefore damages to the machine itself. Aufero claims this is the fastest machine, offering a whopping 15,000 millimeters per minute engraving speed. Now, it's not the first time that we hear a manufacturer claiming for such a nice speed. The problem with these speeds is not that the machine cannot handle it. In fact, for most machines, the stepper motor is actually able to accelerate and to reach higher speed than that. The problem is whether or not the machine will have the right computational power to keep up with the speed. Because you see, when the laser module moves across the working area, it's not only the physical movement that has to be achieved, but inside the laser will need to be toggled on and off at the right power and for the right duration in order to perform the engraving of your project. And so oftentimes at this speed the machine will basically crash, or the software will basically crash. Now, I've tried the 15,000 millimeter per minute, and I've been able to engrave simple projects without any problems. And this is most probably thanks to their latest generation 32-bit microcontroller with a clock speed of 240 megahertz. So basically, the calculation can go very fast and keep up with the speed. Eventually, there will be a limitation. However, if you are trying to engrave something that has very small details or very closely together, then you will see that basically the software will crash, will go into alarm, and the machine will stop engraving. Anyway, I have to say Aufero is advertising it for a 10,000 millimeters per minute, and I've been engraving quite a few things at that speed, and I can say that I had absolutely no problem also with projects with fine details. Other than that, anyway, I also suggest never to go above 5,000 to 6,000 millimeters per minute. This is for my personal experience, like a threshold. And the other thing with these high speeds is that the faster you go, the higher power of laser module you will need, because the faster you go, the less will be the time that the laser will stay in each single spot, if I can say in this way. And so you will basically get lighter result, if no result at all. And so fortunately, Aufero is offering 3 modules with this machine. 3 modules of varying power, 2 of which they are also suitable for cutting. Now I have the mid-range module, the LU24SF, and I have to say that I've been trying to cut and engrave also at very high speed, and I got fairly good results. And I believe that a 5000 milliwatts power laser module is, I think, the way to go if you want to experiment with both engraving and cutting. As per software compatibility, the machine will work with most GRBL based software, among which we'll find the 2 most popular ones, which are LaserGRBL and LighBurn. LaserGRBL, it's free, simple to use, but it's only available on Windows. On the other side, LighBurn, which you see behind my shoulder, it's a paid software which costs about $50 to $60, and it's working in both Windows and Mac. Apart from that, it's a more advanced software. It's offering way more feature. It's also integrating a vectorial editing software, and it will be mostly suited for projects where, for example, you will require multiple power settings or combining cutting and engraving at the same time. So in my opinion, is a software that will pay off on the long run if you are intending to do this kind of project. Now you will also be able to do complex projects on LaserGRBL. However, there will be some workaround and preparation in order to do that. If you are interested on buying the machine, I put a link in the video description below where you will find the latest deal and discount from Aufero. Right now, Aufero is also running a gift campaign where the first, the third, the fourth, and the 6th person every day buying through that link will get an extra accessory as a gift of the value of about $60 to $80. Click in the link below to find out more. Alright, it's now time to jump into the computer and to set up the machine. I will not show you anything about the unboxing and the assembly. I think that Aufero have made a fairly decent video on their site where they are showing you in a couple of minutes how to assemble the machine. So I will show you how to actually set up and interface the machine with your PC and then to launch our first engraving. Alright, once the machine is correctly assembled and all wired up, we can basically go ahead and connect the power supply as well as the USB cable and to connect it to our PC. And so once that's done, we simply need to hold down the power button down here for 5 seconds, and once it powers on, you will see the blue LED showing that it's basically connected to the PC, and you will also most probably hear your PC giving some kind of audio feedback. Alright, so let's start with the launching LaserGRBL. So this is the launching window. Let's enter this to the screen. Now on the top you will have this connection section where you have the COM with the drop down and the baud rate with the drop down. Now ensure yourself to have the baud rate set to this value over here, and then you have to select the port. Now depending on how many things you have plugged into your PC, you might have different ports. Now I already know that the COM1 is the port dedicated to my other machine, so I only need to go for COM6, and then you will click on connect. And as you can see, that was fairly simple. Now you might have noticed that here we got an alarm status, and that's because this machine doesn't have home, and by home it means it doesn't have a position where the axis can go back, and that will be represented oftentimes also by the 0, 0 of the axis, okay? And so because of this, the machine right now has no clue on where is the position of the laser. And so to avoid you doing stuff and colliding with the frame, okay, or with whatever happened to be in the working area, it's basically freezing the machine. And so In order to go about it, you will basically click on this unlock padlock button, and now you're basically able to control your machine. Now you could manually jog the machine. You can see over here. I can move it around. I can also increase the distance by which I want to move, and also the speed. I can go down with the speed. You can see over here, and so on. By the way, if you are interested on learning more about LaserGRBL, I have a series of in-depth video tutorial about it, and so I'll put the link to the videos and also to the software in the video description below. Now, once you are set up, you can basically open already the first file. I have prepared the file ahead of time, and so that's what I basically prepared. Now I've loaded an NC file, which is a type of G-code. LaserGRBL will allow you to open pretty much any file you could imagine. So from raster type of files, that means images like JPEG, PNG, bitmap, and so on. Vectorial, that's for example SVG. And then all sorts of G-codes basically, which is NC, G-code, and so on. Alright, so once you have the image on, or whatever you want to engrave into your preview window, which is this one, you are basically ready to engrave. Now, before to engrave, however, I just want to re-emphasize that the machine doesn't have home, and so on any other machine you would normally click the home button. This will take you to a reference point where there are limiting switches to let the software know that you are at home. In this particular machine, wherever the module, the laser, happen to be when you power up the machine, or if you move it manually after you move it, that's going to be your home position. And so for this reason, you want to make sure that you are on the right position and you have enough horizontal and vertical clearance before to actually engrave. And so we'll do that right now. Alright, I think that that's going to be enough for whatever we have in our canvas. And so what you want to do before to launch any engraving is to click on this frame. Now this will basically outline where your engraving is going to happen so that you are aware on where you are. And so we can see the machine in action. And so if we are happy with that, we can then click on play and to let the machine engrave. Alright, let's now jump in LightBurn. Let me show you exactly how to set up the machine there. So I will close LaserGRBL for now so that our port is free. Let's jump over here. And now to add the device in LightBurn, you go over here under devices, and you can manually import, or you can let the software find the device for you. So let's see if we are lucky. Find my device, click on next. Now it will scan for the available ports, and as you can see, we got a GRBL machine 390 × 390 at the 6th port with this baud rate, G-code type. So I think that's the right machine, so we can click on that device and we can give it a name, Aufero Laser 2. And here we can adjust the length of the axis if they are wrong, so we can give on next. Now let's uncheck this auto home since the machine has no home, otherwise we will have the machine basically crashing each single time when we start it up. Let's select as origin our front left over here, or bottom left. Then let's give it on next and finish. Okay, and now we can come over here again, we can change Aufero Laser 2, and as you can see, our canvas, that means the working area, adjusted automatically. So now here I already had something loaded. And by the way, with LightBurn you can basically design stuff, something that you cannot do with LaserGRBL. So LightBurn kind of combines Inkscape and LaserGRBL together. Plus it gives you this ability to have layers, and each layer can be engraved in a different way with different power settings, speed settings, and so on. So you can basically achieve way more complex stuff with it. Alright, so let's try once again to frame our project. And once again, as I said, the machine has no home, so we will need to use the stop button so that we can unlock the machine. And once we are ready with that, and once we are sure that the module is on the right position, we can click on frame, and we will see the module moving and outlining where the project is going to be engraved. Alright, so let's now see the machine in action, and let's start exactly with the design that I have on my screen. And so before to click on play, okay, we will first go and to put the machine where we want it to be. So to do that, we'll simply drag the machine around. Okay, say we want the machine to be kind of here, so that means that the machine is going to engrave in this area. The other thing is we have to put the machine, the module actually, on the right height so that we are in focus. And to do that, we'll need to use this height adjustment plate that they provide. And so we will do that very quickly. So to do that, you will place the adjustment plate under your module with this cover plugged on. Okay, then you can loosen up the screw, and when you loosen it up, the module will go down. Okay, without applying much force, let it sit on its own, and then you can basically screw that back up and remove the plate, and so that will be your height. Now for this demonstration, I've settled everything at nominal speed. If you want to see what's the preview of your result, you can come over here to preview, and that's what it's going to come out. So let's close that, and let's frame it. Let's see where it's going to come. And so as you can see now, we are perfectly within the material. Now you might want to lose more time to align it, but that's just a demonstration, so I can click on play. Alright, and we finally reached the end of this video. As you can see, the machine is very simple to set up and operate, and it's also performing well. We've been testing on several different materials, and we got a very good result each single time. Now obviously the testing is not over. I'll continue to test and experiment with the machine. As you know, if you're subscribed to my channel, I will want to find out more and more what are the capabilities of the machine, and so I'll suggest you to stay tuned to my channel if you want to see that. In the time being, if you're interested in buying the machine, there is a link in the video description below where you can get the latest flash deal from Aufero. Apart from that, Aufero has this gift campaign where the first, the third, the fourth, and the sixth person every day purchasing through that link will get a gift accessory of the value of $60 to $80. So I will suggest you to check that out. Up next in the series, I will be comparing the Aufero Laser 2 with the Neje Master Series. So we'll see what are the goods and the bads of both machines. For now, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comment, leave them in the description below. I'll be more than happy to reply on them. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one. Ciao for now!